All right, Chris Johnson, Holy Rage. What you been doing these days since it's the middle of the summer?
Well, apart from drinking and having a good having a good summer with everyone else, as you know, me and Al have been working on a new album, which is finished now. We've been chilling out, sort of having loads of talks about different things that we want to do in the future. What sort of tours we want to do and the sort of gigs we want to play. Which are, we've got gigs coming in as well. Which, everything's going great, man. It's been a good summer so far.
What's your experience with Al? How long have you been with him up to now? It's been a few years.
Yeah. I mean, Al's actually my wife's uncle as well, so he's part of the family. But I've been playing for Al since about 2005, 2006. So it's been a few years now, yeah.
What does it feel like, to be playing with the founder of Judas Priest, because you're in the family tree now?
Yeah, it's kind of weird, really, because we've become. Al's probably my best friend in the world now, as well as being who he is, So it's a bit strange. I think I'm lucky that I can get away with things that certain other people can't, really. But we go for beers quite often, and we're talking on the phone sort of practically every day. So yeah, he's one of my best friends, man.
Another thing too, Chris, you got some guitar endorsements and other equipment.
Oh yeah, I'm endorsed by a few people. I mean, my main endorsement really is Moser Custom Shop in LA. Who again, he's turned out to be a very good friend. I actually met him when I was over in LA with Graham Bonnet. And we've been in touch ever since, Again, I've found him quite often. He's a really great guy. I'm also endorsed by Halo Guitars in Los Angeles, which is it's quite a new company, and it's a new endorsement for me. So we're still on the starting mark, really, with that.
Do you guys play much gigs this summer, like as Holy Rage? Like, have you been playing festivals? A lot of them?
Not really, no. I mean, we've got 2 festivals come in after we finish the album, but the album's really been the main place of work since the new year. We've been working damn hard on that, and we knew it would take a while to get out, but we really wanted to concentrate on that more than anything else,
And after this album's released, then you guys are gonna go and play these shows.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
For this new album, the process of recording it, how long did it take to go into it?
The whole album, actually, I mean, it was done pretty quickly. We've got our own studios with Vince Regan, our the guitar player, and literally we put everything down and had everything mixed in about 6 months. So it was pretty quick.
How you meet Al Atkins? Right in
at a funeral.
Really?
Yeah. It was at a family funeral, and my wife introduced me to him when we went there, and I was like, whoa, no way, and I went and introduced myself, and he was just such a great guy. 2 years later, I ended up being his main guitarist, so it's all a bit of a weird story.
Amplification, do you have anything interesting in your sound gear? Goes into the album?
No, not really. I'm pretty easy to please. We're supposed to be going over to Finland to jam with a house band quite soon. And they asked me exactly the same question, and I said to them, I'll bring my own pedal, and all I want is, an amp with a clean channel. I mean, everything else is sort of on the floor, So I'm a pretty easy guy to please. My main amps are custom amps, and I've got an artist endorsement with Custom, and they do some fine amps. They really do. So I've got a nice big 100-watt head that I usually use on stage, and there's nothing special about it. Pretty boring, really, but never mind.
Well, what's your take on the internet, and all the downloading and stuff like that?
There are 2 trains of thought on it. I mean, this album, the new album's going to be on sort of iTunes, and it's going to be downloadable. I don't mind obviously I don't mind the downloadable part, but of course, piracy is so quick and easy to do nowadays. It's pretty scary for every band out there. I want to go back to vinyl. That's much harder to pirate vinyl is. So I want to get back to vinyl myself. But yeah, it can be a bonus and it can be a bad thing. I know a lot of musicians out there are losing an awful lot of money, so I'm going to sit on the fence until this album starts selling, and then I'll ring you back and tell you.
And another thing too is, the internet is kind of taking over the magazine publications now also. Would you not say?
I'm not really happy about. I'm one of these people that want a physical sort of thing in my hand rather than going online and reading it. I love published magazines. And if Al or I get anything published in a magazine, we'll just go straight to a shop and buy them, because it's really nice to have that to remember. I mean, sites can go up or down sort of, every day, and old interviews get lost and things you want to remember, So I really prefer to have a physical copy in my hand.
Sure.
I don't mind them. I think they do a great job. But as I say, I prefer a published magazine myself. But then again, I'm old.
Well, I'll tell you, I like a published magazine, and I like vinyl also. And, I think the vinyl's actually making a big comeback in North America.
Yeah. It is in Europe as well. Unfortunately, we have actually asked whether this album will be released on vinyl, and it doesn't look like it at this point, but never say never.
Chris, been a pleasure talking to you. Wish you luck and success.
Thank you very much, Jason. It's great to talk to you too, man.